Look what I have for you.
You're always welcome here.
You're always welcome here, noble sir.
It wasn't really talking. More like imitating...
Can we start the meeting? We don't have much time.
I know, but Samuel isn't here yet. We have to be patient.
Henry, you have no idea how glad I am to see you alive and all in one piece. I was really worried about you. I prayed to Our Lady the Protector to watch over you in Kuttenberg. It's good she heard my pleas.
Thanks for putting in a good word. It definitely came in handy, because it wasn't nice at all. Lots of violence and death, countless foes. We could have easily kicked the bucket any moment.
God damn! What happened there?
I don't know if words are enough. Simply... it was just like Scallis. Confusion, screaming, dying, and then the flames. The worst part came when the gate fell. It was as if the bloody gates of perdition opened for a moment, and hell surged into the world.
God protect us! God damn it! I should have gone there too. I could have been some use at least.
I'm always glad to fight by your side. But you wouldn't have changed anything there. There were too many of them. And when the whole street was thronged, there was no stopping it. All we could do was try to hold back Eric's people as long as possible, so the locals could flee to the synagogue. See, there's a hidden tunnel inside it, leading out of the city.
Fucking tunnels! Ugh. But thank Christ for them. What about Liechtenstein?
He's fine. And he managed to get those mysterious documents of his out. He left with the survivors for Colleen.
Praise God. He's from an old and glorious house. It'd be a dreadful pity if he got left behind. The main thing is you got out. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to thank you properly for coming to Malashov for me.
No need to thank me.
I beg to disagree, my brave and faithful companion. First and foremost, be it known that if you should ever similarly find yourself in captivity, I swear before our Lord Jesus Christ that I shall come for you as you came for me. And secondly, I have something here for you. A truly knightly reward for your knightly deed. A hunting bow that has no equal in the province. I hope it'll brighten your thoughts after all those horrors. It can fell the mightiest buck deer and enchant many a doe. And besides, it has attached to it an enlightening history.
I'm honored. Thank you, friend. Please enlighten me, O noble sir.
According to legend, this bow belonged by right to Margrave Jobst of Moravia, who, however, was not worthy of it. And so, Fate decreed that it fell into the hands of a proper knight.
What are you saying?
When I found out that Yobs would gladly leave me locked up, it got my blood up. So, to pay him back, I relieved him of the bow in Raborsh, and it was immediately clear to me that that bow should go to none other than you.
That is certainly just, I'd say.
I knew we'd see eye to eye. It'd be great to try that bow out right away. We could ride out together on the hunt. Wine, bacon, wine, the deep woods, a quiver full of arrows, wine, shoot some deer and celebrate with wine, like we used to do back home.
We only went hunting together once.
Yeah, but it was memorable. Don't tell me you wouldn't like to do it again. But first duty, then some fun, eh? You'd better be going.
How'd you like Devil's Den?
Well, it's better than the Malashov prison, but not much.
Aren't the beds soft enough for his lordship?
I'm more bothered by how small the place is. You feel like the walls are closing in on you. But at least I can go for rides around the area.
Where'd you go for those rides?
Well, not very far, just from... Oh, damn. What's the place called? Horshan? Aye. From Horshan to Bohunyevitz and back. Why go to the ends of the earth when there's so much to see here? I found a nice hunter's camp in the forest beyond Bohunyevitz. It's not exactly close, but it's quiet at least.
Oh, Christ almighty. You haven't started poaching again, have you?
You could say that. This girl from Bohunyevitz took me for a lovely... ride?
Oh, that's enough. Spare me the details. What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vakalin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly burst listening to him sometimes. Although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and worldly gentleman, if a little obsessed with wealth.
I agree. He seems quite likeable. And he's got a score to settle with Sigismund, like we do.
He certainly has.
It's already getting...
What happened when von Bergov hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was travelling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Bergov came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there. Well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces. Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors. But since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
They didn't let you out at all. But you were in that room for ages.
No.
It's pissing...
They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
What did von Bergov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they could just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit, and then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
My word. Nice work keeping him at bay. But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
I apologize.
You're not alone. If I wanted to fast, I might as well go to the monastery. You? What would you do there? Unless they needed a scarecrow. Whereas they make you the abbot.
Today's battle turned out well, eh?
An abbot with a habit. A drinking habit. But speaking of fasting, I heard something good. In some monastery in Sasau, there was some monk who just loved meat. So he had to stand.
I heard you fought in the Battle of Kosovo. Is that true?
Why wouldn't it be?
I heard it was a horrible massacre, and there were no survivors.
Horseshit, lad. That's just horseshit. It was a massacre.
Pour the beer on the table.
Terrible slaughter. But the other side lost many men as well.
So how did it happen? Tell me. I don't think I can quite imagine such a massive battle. How many soldiers were there?
Countless, lad. I'd never seen so many take the field. At least 10,000 men on our side. And Sultan Murad must have had at least twice as many with him.
And where did you fight?
Or in the saddle. I'm a nobleman, after all. But I lost 3 horses under me. So in the end, I also fought on foot. Most of us mercenaries were on the left flank, under the command of Vlatko Vukovic. But he soon got wounded, and the men began to flee. I mean, if it wasn't for Nicholas Gabriel, we wouldn't be talking here today.
And who was that?
The commander of our company. A born warrior, and a good friend. In fact, Zizka reminds me of him a bit sometimes. In any case, the fact that Gabriel had taken a command at that point meant our flank did not buckle, and the Ottoman rabble did not cut us to pieces as we fled.
So who won in the end?
The battle lasted all day, and in the end no one knew who had won, because both sides left the field. Only later did we find out. Prince Lazar had fallen there alongside all his Serbian nobility. Still later came the news that Lazar had been captured and executed by the Turks the day after the battle.
They executed a prince.
Aye. They beheaded him, because someone had slit their sultan's throat like a piglet.
So you didn't win?
It's hard to say. We held our own against the odds and survived. Only without their prince, it was just a matter of time before Serbia fell into the new Ottoman sultan's lap. Fortunately, I didn't stick around to see it.
So how did the battle go?
Lord forgive me, but it went to shit.
Could you be more specific?
Specific? Well, I only know what people said after the battle. When you're in the midst of it, you don't see what's happening around you.
Which was?
Well, it's hard to describe. Attacks are followed by retreats, and between that, only fatigue and dust.
So what happened?
When the battle began, the Serbian cavalry crushed the Turkish left flank. It looked good for us, but alas, that was just the beginning. Soon, we got ours too. We fought valiantly, but they pushed us back, and in the meantime, they hit our center. The Sultan's Janissaries attacked us there. Damn devils, and raised all hell. Rivers of blood soaked the ground.
How could you survive something like that?
You can't give up, and death isn't an option. But then a rumor spread that Prince Lazar had fallen, and everything began to crumble. But he was a tough old warrior of the Nemanjic royal blood. He wouldn't give up just like that. With an arrow in his eye, he climbed his horse and rode straight for the Sultan. Well, that's how he saved us. The battle then lasted until evening. But no one had the strength to force the enemy to retreat. All the same, even as I'm telling it, it strikes me what an adventure it was. I suppose time heals all kinds of shit. In the end, you forget the bad things. And yet, I can only thank God that Nicholas Gabriel was there.
You're a captain?
Aye, him. We actually became friends of sorts. He even taught me one of his sword tricks.
He did?
Aye, really. I could even show you sometime. A memory of the good man who saved my arse on that day.
How did you meet Dry Devil?
For the first time? Not in the best of circumstances, that's for sure. A few years ago, my company was attacked near Olomouc, and he spared nobody except for my noble master.
Wait, what was that about?
We were fighting for Margrave Jobst, and he for his brother Prokop.
Why did he let you live?
Because I shot and killed 2 of his men, and crippled 3 others, before he bashed me over the head.
And he just let you go?
Not a chance. I woke tied up with a splitting headache. Tri-Devil was all fired up, betting with his men that they'd boost me up.
And what was the catch?
That fucker took me to the ramparts and said that if I piss and hit the ale pitcher down below, he'd let me go. Otherwise, he'd try to hit the ale pitcher with me. The prick.
Wow. You're quite the sharpshooter, Kabyanka.
You bet I fucking am. But you don't know shit about it.
Teach me something, then. I'll happily pay for it.
It'll take some time. But for a few groschen, I'll teach you whatever you want.
I saw you shoot. You're bloody fast. I don't get it. What's your secret?
Aye, that's easy to learn. It's just a little trick. And then years of practice.
Show me, then.
All right. Let's get started, then.
I'd like to learn a few tricks.
It'll take some time. But
Well, I saw how you took down that bloke at the tavern, and he was at least a head taller than you.
shit, I just got lucky, is all.
Well, a dice, sure. But I'd really like to learn that hold you did.
What fucking hold?
The one where you made him trip over your leg.
Oh, that one. All right. Let's get started then.
Hans!
Would you show me the swordsmanship technique Commander Nicholas taught you back in Kosovo?
I'd be glad to, my friend. But now,
Please show me that.
I'd be glad.
Hans! Hans! It's me!
I'd like to learn.
It'll take some...
How do you always...
the problem is...
Isn't that addiction?
It's experience.
And that's what I'm interested in.
All right.
Hans!
Earlier, you mentioned a bunch of peasants taking up arms against...
Aye. A bunch of villagers.
We could use a band like that.
I agree. But Shishka was against it. You saw it yourself.
So, what are we gonna do?
Well, I'm not going to break my word. But you did not...
Do you know where to look for them?
From what I know, they mostly hang around Miskovitz. It seems they use a secret password to recognize their own.
Password? What password?
Fuck, what was it? Ah, I remember. The fox is in the henhouse.
How did you learn their secret password?
When Dry Devil's band broke up, I was looking for a company to join. Then this one time at a tavern, there was this scrawny, drunken loudmouth going on about the peasants' revolt and shouting out the password for all to hear. Some old woman from Miskovitz slapped that lad so hard his chin hit the table.
Right, so I'm supposed to look for a scrawny, drunken loudmouth.
We have plenty of those already. I reckon you ought to talk to the old crone. I have a feeling she might be the way to get to that. Try telling her the password and see what happens.
All right. I hope I won't get slapped too.
It's me. That's some kind of funny name. Why? Do you know? How about we look for the road? It's not a bad idea. But Borrow is already setting up.
God be with you, neighbor.
An ale, as usual.
You still owe me for the stuff from Germany.
Look, friend, you have me confused with someone else. My name's not Hans.
If you're broke, just say so and stop trying to wriggle out of it.
You're Joachim, aren't you? We've met before.
I knew it, see, you do remember.
But my name's not Hans. It's Henry.
Why play around like this when we know each other so well?
For the last time, I am not Hans!
Oh, well, I'm sorry. You're the spitting image of him. You really are. Well, I'll be sure to be extra careful from now on.
How much does this Hans owe you?
I gave him some of my wares to take. Nothing fancy, just a few trinkets. Said he'd sell them at twice the price. I'd give him half the proceeds from the trip. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
I'll settle that debt for you.
I could tell right away.
Here you go.
Thank you kindly. At least I can stock
Show me what you have for sale.
just your everyday...
Ground. Christ, didn't I tell you to give it a rest with that bullshit? I've got to see you like it. You want another? It might have just been some animals. I heard them too. Billy Goat. Goats from Billy Goats by the sound they make. What about rattling chains? Did you hear those too? Well, I did. When's the last time?
You told me to come back for sausages.
Yes, yes.
I can hardly wait.
They won't wait. Here, you taste and you will be in hell. My secret recipe.
Thanks. I hope it doesn't give me the runs.
That happens sometimes. You want more? Game is best. But dog, alright too. Only tough
So I can bring you almost anything and you can make sausages out of it.
from anybody. But don't bring me no old stuff or stinky stuff. That bad, bad, bad.
I've got some...
Hey? Well, you...
Sorry. What did you do before they locked you up?
What do you think? I steal food. You know that, hey? Ah, you mean before, like back. I was locked up then.
Oh, I see you're one lucky bloke. Also for food.
No, because of war. They take me prisoner. Want to chop my head off, but then find out I am a cook.
You're a cook?
No, but they not know that. So they lock me up in Castle on Rap.
And what did you cook for them? Sauerkraut?
Lucky there was Serbian cook there. He teach me everything. If you no have blue blood, being cook is not bad, eh?
And how did it all turn out?
Cook catch plague and die. Me? I escape back to Bohemia.
Teach me something then. Maybe it'll come in handy.
Not now, later.
Since you know so much about food, could you teach me how to cook?
Good idea, friend. Like Bible say, man not live on wine alone. Eh? What do you want to know?
Something fast and simple would come in handy. I'm always traveling somewhere, so something to fill my belly quickly.
Fill your belly? Food. Food is gift from God. Even simple food must be good. You know, first you need beer, eh? But sweet, not sour piece. Tear up bread, pour beer on top, cook on fire until mush. Put bit of salt, caraway, lovage, bit of butter if you have, nutmeg, egg yolk. All done.
Could you teach me any other recipes?
What you would like?
Do you have anything really festive? I'd like to make a real banquet sometime.
Ah, you my man! Why only lords should have feast, eh? But what I can teach you... best thing I know for feast is shoustic. You know that?
Sounds like something nasty you'd do at the back.
Funny? No, it even better. Not only feast for stomach, for eyes too. Nice special food, it can look different ways. Favorite is all kinds of roasted beasts. Dragons, manticores.
And where can I find such a beast?
There is secret in it. You cannot. You make one. Take bag of piglet, sew on a roaster's head, peacock's tail, feed from hair and roast crown the beast. Put boiled eggs around.
Could you teach me any other?
What you would like?
The foundation of...
Of course. But wait. I know one. First you cook whale bread, then add a bit of semolina. You know best part?
Could you teach me any other recipe?
What you would like?
Teach me some sauce that goes with meat. To make the most of it when I get my...
Sauce? Maybe our yellow sauce. Hey, not cheap to make. You put mug of cream into pot. Warm up a bit. Throw in egg yolk. Bit of saffron. Then you must cook very slowly. Ah, so tasty you will lick pot. diable ce
You
putain
have
de
a kind
temps?
master.
Messy weather.
I agree. Shitty weather.
You know who likes such conditions? Les Anglais. Full weather like this always reminds me of them. Ces bâtards. They love the rain. Des gens horribles.
Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting life. Tell me some stories.
Bien sûr. Your interest is gratifying and quite understandable.
Where does the name Brabant come from?
That is simple. My compatriots call me that because I am originally from Brabant province. And, the name stuck. One day, I shall tell you about my place of birth, but I am sure you will long to hear about the conquest of Arezzo, yes? Or would you rather hear how I saved the King of France from certain death?
Arezzo sounds interesting.
And so it was. That is where I earned my knighthood from the great Enguerrand de Concy himself, the commander of our Naples campaign. Enguerrand arranged his forces for battle, and I was put in charge of one of the cavalry units. Out of nowhere, the enemy appeared on our unprotected flank, and Enguerrand set me to hold them back so our main force could regroup. But I saw a gap in the enemy's main phalanx. I sounded the charge and sped forwards.
Wasn't that rather risky?
Un chevalier français fears nothing.
I reckon King Sigismund would think otherwise after Constantinople.
That was completely different. Alors, I caught them by surprise. I hacked my way to their standard and broke through all the way to the enemy's reservoirs. My attack sowed confusions in the enemy's ranks that encouraged the overlords who raced to join me, scattering everything in their path. And that is how we won the famous victory at Arezzo. Seeing that the force that was supposed to protect them had been routed. The city then surrendered to us. No doubt you had no inkling at Maleshov what a knight you had the honor to meet. And of course my feats on the field of battle do not end there.
This day is never ending.
A bold maneuver.
Quite right. Courage is my middle name. Just as Monsieur Chapon says, Audantes fortuna juva. That day I was the bravest of them all and won the day.
So you disobeyed your commander and left your flank exposed. Your attack could have ended in a total fiasco. You were lucky the others came to your assistance and your entire force didn't collapse.
I hear envy speaking, but you are still wet behind the ears. So, I can forgive you. In short, I saw an opportunity and took it. Moments like that can decide entire wars.
What did your commander have to say?
He made me a knight and sent me to the royal court to inform the sovereign of our triumph.
I reckon he wanted to get you out of his hair.
Do not talk nonsense.
How did you save the King of France?
With Providence as my guide, mon ami, I came to the court from the field of battle to bring news of our victory. Because, and remember this, the bearer of good news is always rewarded and cherished. But the king was in a bad mood and did not wish to be disturbed. Maybe I thought the news of our victory will dispel his ill humor.
How could you tell him if he didn't want to be disturbed?
Ha! I climbed up to his balcony and into his chambers to surprise him with the joyful tidings. And lo and behold, the king was writhing and gasping on the floor, overcome by one of his fits. Wasting not a moment, I dashed over to him and unblocked his throat, thus saving his life. In return, the king bestowed on me the title of Échanson, or cupbearer, and other generous gifts. And I then spent a while in his service at court. Unfortunately, though,
Even the king's favor does not last forever, and minor mistakes can come to overshadow good deeds.
What happened at court that led to you being out of favor?
Well, perhaps I shall tell you some other time. Would you not rather hear about the glorious duel between Le Gris and Carouge?
Tell me what happened at court that caused you to lose favor.
Ah, a major setback and a gross injustice, mon ami. It is an unhappy memory, because it was the first time that La Dame Chance abandoned me.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can all learn from our failures. And I bet even your failures make for great stories.
Oui, that is certainly true. Very well, then. I suffered a combination of misfortunes all at once. But bad luck in business and on a hunt were the worst of all.
What was the hunting incident?
We were out in the royal hunting grounds when I caught sight of a white stag. There had long been rumors about it, so imagine the prestige I would have gained by getting it. I set off after it, pierced its flank with arrows, and unleashed the hounds to finish it off. When I arrived, it turned out that my aunt had not killed a stag, but the horse of a lady, a court favorite of the queen's. I fell out of her favor, and all the doors became closed to me.
Christ almighty! How could you have mistaken a horse for a stag?
I did not. It was the hounds. The stag must have got away, and in their frenzy they pounced on the poor horse.
That's nonsense.
Oh, why do you say so?
Hunting dogs are trained to go after game. They'd never attack a horse, especially hounds from the royal kennels. You must have made the mistake and set them on the horse.
Well, normally that would be true, of course, but the hounds I was given had some kind of sickness that addled their wits. I do not remember exactly. No doubt they gave me those wants of purpose. A misfortune like that, which could indeed happen to anyone, would make lesser men roll with laughter. But the other lords were afraid I would outshine them, so they were waiting for a chance to get rid of me. And that chance came along, unfortunately.
How did you end up here?
Leaving the court with a modest sum, I launched to visit faraway lands. I traveled a lot, spending time in various countries, and having many great adventures. When I learned that l'Empereur Charles, that great friend of France, had built the magnificent city of Prague in Bohème, I had to see it.
So people in foreign countries speak highly of Prague?
Bien sûr! It was abroad that I heard of King Wenceslas' silver city and its reputed vast wealth. I bought the abandoned Miskowitz estates and shares in the cotton-bearing mines. And for a time I settled here to provide for myself and wait for King Wenceslas, whom I wished to serve. But even here fate did not let me be. When Sigismund brought his army to the city, I appointed myself to lead its defense. For how better to make King Wenceslas aware of me than by saving his beloved city? Victory was assured, but the burghers had other ideas. The city was handed over to the enemy, and I with it, stripped of my possessions. I languished in captivity, until fate again stepped in by sending you to Malishov.
You were in business?
Of course. I come from Brabant province, home to the greatest entrepreneur of all. My birthplace gave me an unrivaled nose for coin and the reputation of a financial expert. I was nicknamed the Seer of Louvain, and also the End of Midas. That is, until I persuaded an important nobleman to invest a large sum in maritime trade with Africa. All the ships he bought sank in a tempest. He had to sell off part of his estates to pay off his creditors. Of course, he wrongly blamed me for everything and turned many influential courtiers against me. But my advice was sound. He was simply punished by God for fornicating with every wench from the Pyrenees to Brittany, bragging about it and thus bringing shame on his gentle wife. I told him as much, but some people never admit their mistakes and prefer to blame others.
A sea voyage from France to Africa? You must have known that was a massive risk.
A risk, perhaps, but think of the fortune to be made. A man must think big if he wants to achieve greatness, no?
Big ideas often lead to big trouble. Storms, pirates, sea monsters, uncharted waters. It was a disaster waiting to happen, Baron. You should have tried the Baltic trade route.
You are right. That would have been safer. But that is under Hanseatic control and there is too much competition. Africa, mon ami, that is the land of opportunity. The Arabs sell to the Portuguese via Ceuta and they sell on to us. Just imagine selling further and trading directly with African kings, cutting out all of those middlemen. Remember this, because one day I will be proven right.
Sir Vaclin, I'm surprised how well you speak our language. Where did you learn it?
Where do you think? Here, of course. Ce n'était même pas difficile. Perhaps I have already mentioned that I am guided by Providence. She endowed me with many talents, mastery of language among them. I can communicate almost everywhere in a word, and learn every new tongue in a trice. I now speak French, German, Italian, Latin, Hungarian, and Czech. Some English, though. That is only a necessary evil.
Thanks for sharing your stories with me, Sir Vaclin. What do you think of our band of outcasts?
Well, I cannot say I expected to end up in this kind of company. I am more used to royal courts or, at least, wealthy burghers. But a man must accept his destiny as it comes.
What do you think of Zizka?
Le Chevalier Jan? Well, he's not doing badly for a minor nobleman, but I think he will never be accepted among the higher nobles and knights. That takes a lot more. Mark my words. I am a good judge of people.
I can't get Catherine out of my head. I don't understand her. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me. What do you make of her? Why is she with us?
Ah, you're right. I am a connoisseur of love like I am of wine. But for my taste, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat age vintage. Though, I have to admit she's full-bodied and fragrant.
That's not really what I meant. Why is a woman like her with us?
Là est la question. I had the feeling something terrible happened to her in the past.
So do I. But what?
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me. Try asking her, and maybe something will come of it. L'amour.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people, trust me. L'amour.
What do you think of Sir Hynek?
Ah, le diable sec. A capable chevalier. But I do not trust him. There is treachery in his eyes.
You think so?
My instinct rarely lets me down.
How do you get on with Janosch and Adder?
Oh, those two. Once in Kuttenberg, I also had a servant who pretended not to understand me and thought I did not understand him when he spoke German in my presence. But he was wrong. He is no longer my servant.
How do you get on with Sir Hans?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced and hot-headed at times, but he's the one of the few here who knows how to play chess. And I have a great respect for chess players. Needless to say, he has not managed to beat me yet. Godwin and Jeska can also play. And that devil in press clothing bit me. Merde.
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. Priests should not be such good swordsmen. That is what knights like me are for. In addition, he can play chess just as well as he wields a sword. And in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen. A man of talents. Or perhaps the devil is behind it.
Have you had the chance to meet my half-brother yet?
Samuel. It is strange that he joined your... our group. It is not usual for his, people. But he's certainly a good reinforcement.
What do you think of Kubyenka?
A good warrior. But he has no morals and no manners, like all mercenaries.
Well, I don't think he cares much about that.
And that is just the problem. How can you trust a man who does not want to be a knight?
Tell me, how did the siege of Kuttenberg go?
Ah, mon ami, poorly, poorly. But what could I do? Stand down from leading the defense like a coward? After all, I had to live up to my reputation. And at the time, it did not look hopeless at all. I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for a while before the Allied army arrived. And that would not have been so difficult.
Only no army arrived.
Précisément. The hope for a swift end melted away, and the courage of the burghers along with it. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved of command, arrested, and handed over to Sigismund.
What other countries have you fought in?
In Italy, against the English, here of course, and I will tell you about the others another time. In the meantime, however, I can pass on some of my experience to you. After all, I am not getting any younger, so it is time to pass my wisdom on to future generations.
I'd like to learn.
Unfortunately, I cannot right now. Come later, mon ami.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
going to do what we talked about?
Aye, of course. Well, this doesn't seem too bad.
Another.
He's a Pole, isn't he?
Greetings, friend. Would you care for a little discourse?
When I was working on the vineyard, this noble fella came by one day, and he had a falconer with him.
For some, silence is a virtue.
Falcon's current.
For others, a folly.
No.
Can we start the meeting? We don't have much time.
Aye, we're all waiting for you. Right, gentlemen. I think it's clear to all of you what a shitty fucking mess we're in. We were caught off guard at Rabosh.
And they nearly fucking kill us all.
Yes, and they attacked the Jewish quarter.
Thanks a lot for reminding me. I almost forgot.
At least Henry here and Kubienka got most of the people out.
That's true. Good work, men. How did it all go down?
Well, to tell the truth, we were lucky as hell. We got there before it all started in earnest. That's why we managed to get those people out.
Lucky my arse. We gave those bastards a thrashing. They thought they'd loot and torch the whole place, but we scared them shitless.
It is nice that you found my people suffering so entertaining. But what I want to know now is how you all intend to avenge them.
Well, what do you have in mind?
We shouldn't give up. That's the main thing.
Except that Sigismund has the League of Lords and a whole fucking army. And what do we have? Fuck all! Come on, lads. Jobst will bring his army soon. It'd be fucking mad to try on anything big before that.
It might take weeks for them to arrive. Von Berghoff will have found and caught us by then. We have to get rid of Von Berghoff. It's because of him that we're in the situation we're in, after all.
You mean in the shit, Sir Hans? No need to mince words.
Von Berghoff is just Sigismund's puppet. We're not going to waste time on him, are we?
Aye. It would be better to go straight after the most heavily guarded man in the kingdom. Brilliant idea, youngster. Sigismund is out of reach, but perhaps we can get to von Berghoff, and that should gain us some more time.
That fucker is Sigismund's right hand, so we'll chop it off.
Why kill him? You know what ransom we can get for that bastard.
Are you all fucking daft? Von Berger was holed up in Malashov, so unless any of you can fly, we can't get to him.
Oh, that's true. To take a cost like that, we'd need a dozen men, ladders, and maybe also a trebuchet or cannon.
There's no maybe about it. We'd certainly need a cannon.
So we steal the one von Berghoff used at Nebakov.
Well, why don't we just steal all the silver from the Italian court and buy our own, eh? Use your head before you open your mouth. Hang on. Maybe Janosch's idea isn't all that bad.
You got another cunning plan that's guaranteed not to fail, haven't you?
I recently sent Catherine to spy on Sigismund's military camp near Opatovitz. She told me von Berghoff has his cannon stashed away there. But it seems things are getting a bit out of hand there. So the Prague regiment he's in charge of is going to move it to Sedlets. And it might not be that well guarded along the way.
So we'll steal it, right? We'll wait till they go through some ravine, and we'll shoot at them from the rocks. The way you did to us before Nebakov.
I see you've learned something from me. But it's not that simple. What we need is for one of us to get amongst the Pragas, so he can keep an eye open and tell us when they're moving out.
And if we succeed? What then? There's 5.5 of us. Even with a cannon, that's not enough to take Malashov.
So you'd rather hide and ambush flower wagons? Are we common thieves?
No, patrzcie tylko. Jeszcze wczoraj przerzucał gówna, a dziś ten prawdziwy chojrak.
I know going up against von Bergov is dangerous, but we have to try.
Dangerous, my arse. It's suicide.
That's enough! Von Berko has to die. Painfully, and above all, as soon as possible. And if there are not enough of you, this might help.
Well, well. That's a sight for sore eyes. Why the fuck didn't you show us that earlier? We could have saved ourselves a lot of blathering.
Where did you get such a fortune? After what happened?
People in Kolin decided to help. They are looking after our refugees and want to send everyone a strong signal that we will not be silenced.
Ah, so that's why you were so eager to go there.
We can't take it. Your people will surely need every groschen you can get your hands on now.
Drop the courtesies, please. All I want is to get von Berkov at knife point.
If you will permit, monsieur, I might be able to contribute. I know a few mercenaires in this part. They may not be la cavalerie royale, but for such a purse, they will gladly tear Maleshov down stone by stone.
Ah, a company of mercenaries, a surprise attack, and a cannon in reserve. We could do something with that, couldn't we?
Not so fast. We don't have the cannon yet.
Then we'll fucking get it. We'll find a good spot for an ambush and send someone into the camp to spy on them. What about you, Henry? You'll get yourself recruited into the Prague regiment, and when they take the cannon to Sedlitz, you'll send us a message via Catherine.
Me again? Well, at least I'll see Catherine.
Well, now, has the youngster here fallen in love?
That's settled then. Henry will go to the camp. Catherine will tell you all you need to know. You'll find her in the bathhouse there. In the meantime, Ada here can go to Malashov and find out how von Berkov and his people are stationed there. But look, don't touch.
Za kogo ty mnie kurwa masz?
A lot of soldiers need a lot to eat. We'll have to stock up.
I'll go hunting. This tavern's a bit cramped for my liking as it is.
And what are we going to do?
We're going to prepare a warm welcome for the Praguers.
What do you say, Sir Hinek?
Well, what the fuck are you all sitting here for? Didn't you hear? The fun's about to start!
You have a kind master, eh, Mutt?
Here, Mutt! Here, Mutt! Look what I have for you. Here, Mutt! Here, Mutt!
About time. I'm glad you... Take that! I'll rip your arse open! Ooh, bleeding, are we? You want me to get your ma? Got him! Show your stuff! Get ready to leave this life!
I'll kill you! Somebody, please! I'll rip your arse open!
Shame there is no hops growing here.
You're always...
You, boy!
Fuck you, whoreson. I'll show you! Ha! Show what you're made of. Let's see what...
This horse must have cost him.
Whoa!
I'm telling you, ain't I? Your men smashed all my pictures. And on top of that, they drank nearly a whole barrel of wine. And poor Dorota had to flee to the woods from your savages. She's lucky she got away with her honor intact.
Steady horse. Who was it?
How am I supposed to know their names? 5 of them there was. All in your uniforms.
Quiet now. Only asking.
Like them drunks will tell you anything if you threaten them with a whipping.
They tell me.
Careful.
Ah, there you are.
Henry? What are you doing here?
Zizka sent me. Is there somewhere we can talk? In private, I mean.
Oh, by Christ. Oh, you've come up with another plan, haven't you? All right. But you better come this evening. We're too easily seen right now.